Okay, did that work out or still not working? I think now it should work out because I now have figured out the issue and that hopefully should not waste more time. Okay, just a quick check now. I think it's working. Right. Okay. Okay, so let me check how well it is working. I need a little bit more volume here. Not sure my voice is low or it is perfect. Yeah, that's so. Let me add a few more things in this. Um, so we can can't do much there. So yeah, let's keep that a bit lower. That on max. So yeah, that is the max volume I can get, and I think that should be enough. Right? That is not the most audible voice, but one more check. Okay. It will add more background noise, I would say, but we can keep up with that, right? Yeah, I think we would go with this type of volume. I'll keep my voice a little louder. Okay. Um, can we add a few filters here? Doesn't look like we can add any filters, but anyways, that should be. I've spent half an hour here, but is it worth the wait? Checking one more time. Okay, that is at the most volume I could gather. Let's see if that works out. Correct. Maybe not. Yeah, but this looks good. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. We are live, right? We are like audible properly now. This is the final check I'm doing. Otherwise, if I'm not satisfied, I am gonna cut this live stream out. Let's go back to the scene and um, a little louder. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, so here we are, and we are going to write some Go. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with the sound now. I'll start away without any uh, delays. So here we had solved almost 14 problems. I skipped the 12th one, and I'm not able to keep up with 25 days of advent of code, but I wrote 5 days of blogs and 5 videos for advent of code. I'm happy that I was able to at least solve for uh, 12 or 13 consistent days, and I have 24 stars because if you see my stats or where is the so in the past I've just created like not I was not consistent around past 2 years, but this year I was able to solve more than uh, the previous best. So I'm happy with that. I'm not continuing it today, but I might uh, solve these problems, the remaining problems, whenever I have no ideas about the streams that I will be making in the future. So for now, I have a project that I was working on before I went of code. That is, I think it was 30th November, and 1st December I started working on AOC demons and other other problems. So let me grab that first. Not sure where that was. Uh, was it this one? No. Was it here anyhow? No. Okay, it should be here. So this escalate draw I had. Hmm. So I think we have lost the escalate draw for that. The other one I created. Or did I? Yeah, I think I have lost that. Maybe not. Yeah, here it is. So it is in which profile? I need to check that. Dev. Okay. So here are. We were actually. So this was the project that we were working before I went of code. That was a static site generator in Golang from scratch. And we had built most of the parts that was uh, the actual loading of markdown files into from a specific directory and creating like a config reader. And then from those config, we were able to grab or list down the files that are marked down, that is the actual content of the web page, and then convert those markdown into HTML using some sort of templates, pre-built templates, or we have a default template. And we have not added themes in yet, but that is a refinement that we can add later on. But um, we also added things called as feeds. That is how you want to structure your posts. So we have some parameters that we can tweak and or parameters that we can add to the config, and we will be able to generate um, like URLs or certain sections where we will have list of files or posts in that particular HTML template, and then from there we can like get to the actual post. So it is form of like a archive, you can say, some different forms of archives that will be have. So let's say we have something like tags or series. So that is what I'm referring to as feeds. So that can be configured later on, but the most of the stuff it is implemented. And now I want to go into the actual stuff that I wanted to try out, which was connecting it to a local file-based database that will be SQLite or LibSQL, and will host that database on cloud, which will be Turso in this case. And what we will have is we will create this second source of truth. So right now we will have GitHub or any Git version control system that will be used to host this static site generation block. So so this SSG relies on only on the files that are available in the version control system as to generate the actual web page. But with this database, what we could do is we could hook up editor, so we can add a page which we will be used to sort of create or edit the posts, and from that editor page we push that post into the database, and using GitHub Actions or any cron job we will pull that latest post from the database and save it to the version control system. And so database is the second source of truth, but at the end GitHub or the version control system is the only actual truth, ground truth for this. But we will update the version control system from the database, so that becomes the second truth. And yeah, so that is the the thing that I want to try out. And where I'll be starting this from is we'll start with adding the database into this like like static generator. We will sort of also work on how we would like to add this as a plugin to this. Um, so I want to create this static generator as sort of a plugin based system. I have been inspired by William Walker's Marketa. So if you see, I might not remember the URL, but let's try it out. Oh, first try. So you can see this was written in Python, and I've been using it myself for my website, that is queenco.com, and this is served from Marketa, uh, and I use it extensively. I've also customized it a bit, and you would see that this is uh, a static generator that is plugin based. So you can like sort of create some small set of uh, code that we would like to add it, and we can like create our own little things in the blog. That's what I want to do, and now I want to dig deeper into this. So how we would like to create this database addition to this. So let's get started without the rambles. So projects. This is a Go project. I don't remember where I kept it now. Uh, Shambles. Yeah, it was here. Uh, Hold on. Okay, I'm not created a GitHub repository yet. So let me open this here. And if you see the main file, it has a few things. I have added one dependency, which is old mark, which will be used to uh, like it acts as a password for Markdown. I don't want to write Markdown password from scratch. That I want to try out, but not right now. And let's go to the very bottom, and you can see here we have the main function, which has become a lot larger. So first we read the file, config file, then we from that config file we get the setting, like setting, or you can say a field that will be used to represent where all uh, the post will be residing on. So we will have a folder called post dir, not necessarily that way, but it could be used to like that post will definitely represent the folder where your markdown files will reside, and this could have multiple nested folders as well. So that is taking care of that. We have not taken care of that right now, but we could do that later on. Then we do the read posts, which will basically takes in a list of files and gives out a list of posts. Now post is the object. We have created this structure. So let me um, go to this. So you can see it returns a list of posts, which is two parts, the front matter and the content. So if I show you, I'm repeating this out quite, but let, so this is the front matter. This usually comes in YAML, but I'll keep JSON right now. It's quite simple. We just have so front matter acts like a metadata for the post, and then we have the actual content that will be marked down. So that is the two parts, the front matter and the content. I want to render the content as a HTML template. That's why I've used it template.html. So this will be just a string. And once we have that, um, then we sort of load the templates. That will be the default post template or the templates directory where we have kept all the files. So you can see here we have templates file. Let me also show you this config file, which is blog ssg.json. I have uh, the metadata for the blog itself, which will have name, base URL, post dir. That's what I was talking about. The post file where all the posts reside. Templates dir where templates reside. Static dir where all the static files like CSS or any custom images that you want to render out. And then the output dir, that is where all the HTML file will be dumped out to. Default feed template, default post template, and the pages. So this will be pages will be like a type of post. So you can have a default post, you can have some form of tells or short form of posts or projects. Yeah, you can sort of create different types of pages, and that is what I call it a feed. It's not it's not a feed, but it is used to create that feed file for that. So that is that. So yeah, once we do that, we create the output file and our output folder, that is the public, and then we for all the posts that we have that we just grab the template path using that post type. So every post will have the post type in that front matter, and with that we will try to load the template for that specific post type. And once we have that, we will try to execute the template. So we'll render out the contents from the markdown and convert it into uh, where is the conversion? So I guess I converted it into directly while reading the post, I believe. Let me see. Front matter object. Yeah, goldmark.convert. So this will yeah, this will take in the content bytes. That will be the actual markdown content, and bytes buffer that will be used to dump out the HTML from that, and then we render that HTML into the byte buffer string attributed it, and the post will be actual HTML and not markdown. So once that is done, we will just create that template and put in the placeholders that will be there in the post object. Yeah, and that is it basically. We'll write out the file and for we'll create a feed. So for all the feeds that will be there in the feed post. So what is feed post? Let me check out. Yeah, so here we will keep track of the unique feed post that will be there, and you can see there will be so it will be a map of list, sorry, map of string with uh, I think it's a post, so it will be list of posts. Yeah, so that will be that, and yeah, I will create this. Uh, this is yeah, this will be created similarly, and which how we create like a list of posts in that and render that template and render that object out into the template. So yeah, that will be that. And yeah, we'll just return to the server and that should be it. This is also one simple step that is to copy the static files into the output dir. So that is that, and yeah, that is the static file generator in like this is the most simplest SSG that you can create. Like you can go wild with this, but I just want to explore how we will attach this thing here, where it will attach this thing into a database. Now I want to write the plugin for this. Okay, so now uh, so what we will try to do here is so let's create a folder where I will just have one file called maybe main.go, and inside of that file I will define what I want to do in after this like okay, this is a bit confusing. Let me think about it because plugins we cannot keep this uh, default flow in plugins because if the user messes up, it won't work as expected. And we might do that, but user might the user would then need to modify individual plugins as well. So we'll create a global list of plugins that will take in from the config, and with that we will try to load that function from the plugins dir first. If that file is not there, that is the plugin file is not there, then we'll keep the default from the actual the default ones. So in this case, let's take an example of loading the config. And if the user necessarily doesn't want the config to be overwritten, like the way I am loading like the config file is just taking the static site generator config file name and just reading it into a bytes and then converting that JSON into an Golang object that can be used to represent this, right? So that's what I am doing for this loading of config file. If the user wants to modify this, then the user would like, so let's quickly do that. So let's say I have a plugins folder, right? And here he'll add in the name of the plugin that he wants to override or he wants to add, right? So in this case, he wants to, let's say, do something different than what I am doing, what the plugin or the SSG is doing by default. And so let's call it config.go. Sorry. Yeah, we'll create files, not folders. Uh, Folders or files. Let's stick with files. We would change that later on. And here I would like to add in one more config as plugins, which will be a list of plugins. So I'll call it config. And okay, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, let's do that. That will be very specific thing. Once we have the config, we'll call it read post. Then yeah, we also need to take care of RSS and sitemap. Codium, read post, then render templates. People might be annoyed by with this, but once we have render templates, we need to load feeds. And is it render feeds or list feeds? Or create feeds? And then copy static files. So, so that is the basic or default plugins. They are not plugins, but if the user wants to override them, then this should Python. How do you comment out in Markdown? Sorry, in JSON. We can't comment out in Markdown. JSON, do we? We can, right? JSON comment. Oh, we don't have comments. Never mind. So yeah, let's do that. So I need to first So I'll write a function called config.go, sorry, config, and it will take in nothing. It won't return anything. It will just perform actions. Or okay, that because we would like to return the config object, and I want to keep plugins very standard. Like this should not return any random things and stuff like that. Maybe this is a question that we would ask AI. I mean, I don't know, and I want suggestions here. I I like I know what I am doing, so I don't see any point wasting my time here. So I want uh, what I want. So what it says is define a plugin interface or something. So the name and the execute. Okay. So define a plugin interface. Yeah, this looks good. So let us define at the very top. Not at the very top. Let's define it just right before this. So it will be a type of plugin. Um, name as string. Why is it a function like this? Oh yeah, it is interface. Sorry. And execute. Yeah, that is what I wanted. Nice AI. And so this is an example of default plugin. Okay. In this case, we want a config plugin, which will be a structure. Shouldn't it be type of plugin? Let's see. So, not function, type plugin config plugin. Why it should be a structure? I don't get that. Um, so, okay, yeah, it makes sense now. Or why not create a plugin struct as well as interface? Any reason for not writing one? GPT is very bad, I think, these days. Plugin interface one. So I get what interface is, but what would happen if I just have plugin with struct with interface? So here we have the plugin interface. Yeah, we need both of them. That makes sense. So we should go with this ones, right? And not wait, how? Yeah, this one. So what was this? Plugin using only interface. Plugin with interface. Oh yeah, I didn't have the structure, complete structure. So yeah, we'll go with this one. Okay. Okay, I got because that was the interface and not a structure. So yeah, and that makes sense. Name will be a type of string, right? And then we need to implement a function. Yeah, and that we also need to implement the function execute on the interface of this. So config plugin, yeah, and we need to call some. So we need to write the actual logic in here. So I'll scrap out this thing and I will yank it out and paste in here and close this function. So is it's not complaining right now? Okay, so what this would do is takes in this config file name and render out that. So yeah, that is that. Now we need to write the plugin manager. So I will do that ways. Where is the plugin manager? Okay, plugin registration. You can create a plugin manager that loads the plugin and executes in the correct order. Yeah, let's implement this. So just below this, I will create. It is a structure that would. Yep, and yeah, register sounds more meaningful. And then execute all. Okay, that is not what we want. We want to plugin dot execute. Hmm. And with that, that looks good. I also add in this message that was quite helpful. Okay, let's try it out. First, I don't want to write everything and then do this thing. So let us do one more thing. That will be to uh, read the config for sure. But first, we need to list out all the plugins. So okay, that is very fundamental. Okay, because to enter the config, I am writing a plugin, but in order to run the plugin, I need some sort of way to. That is a chicken and egg problem. What comes first, the config or the script? what comes first? The plugin uh, reading from config file or running the config read plugin. Hello everyone, I am not able to keep up the chat. There's nothing here but that to read. Never mind. So yeah, let's not help. Let's not get any help from this. I will just create. So first we need to definitely read this. So it was a dumb of me that considers this as reading the config. So what we would do is by default we will keep reading the config as the same. That is, the entry point should be just one thing. That is, have that SSG.json file and grab all the plugins from that. So if there is a plugins list on that, and then so we'll grab all the plugins. So let me write that out. Actually, load all the plugins. Let's see what it gives us. Hmm, that makes sense. So this is just the code that I have written. That's nothing different. So I'll create a plugins, which will be a list of plugins. And what I will do here is, um, mm, yeah. So for each of the plugins, I, I initialize the plugin manager and set that plugin name to it. Okay, hold on. But what is a plugin? It is an interface. It's not a structure that I have defined over there or defined in. Oh, it's a string. Okay, so that makes sense now. So this will be a list of strings then, right? I mean like plugin and plugin register, plugin execute all. So what is it doing? It is doing that. So let us comment these out. Man, I will have to write that again. I'm so lazy, right? Wait, how is it? Just keep it there. And yeah, let us check this out first. So go run main.go, or it has placed out there. So I just need to print out that plugin if it's doing it. It's not. Might be some issue there. Let's call config object. Okay, it is able to do that at least. Oh, it is working. It is working. So then, uh, plugins, pinned plugin. Actually, we don't need to do this way. We could just do it in the for loop here, correct? And this won't be that. This will be just the plugin, plug in. And if we try to run this, it is working right now. Okay, that is done. Now we'll just migrate all other files as well, other functions or things like that. Okay, this is a bit redundant code, but I don't know how we will refactor this because this is just a preference problem, I would say. Then what we have done?